Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy. Welcome to the session on 19/12/2022 guys. We have several issues to be discussed, but first thing, Messi's Argentina wins FIFA World Cup guys. So, Argentina or South America loves football to the core, and for them football is a type of nationalism. The way cricket unites us, the way football unites entire Latin America, and they have won who are on the top at least for 1 or 2 years. If you're writing any other exams apart from UPSC, you may be asked about this citizenship path to be eased for six minority groups from three nations. See this, BJP government wanted to bring Citizenship Amendment Act. According to this, it wanted to differentiate between what we call as refugees and illegal migrants, the people who come from another country because of the fear of persecution, that is they will be killed in their home country if they come back, then they are called as refugees. If they come to us because in Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, somewhere they are being killed, then they are called as refugees. And at the same time, if anyone come for economic purposes, then they are called as illegal migrants. Now, the entire debate was minorities from Myanmar, minorities from China, everywhere else. If certain religious people will come, we are going to give them some sort of citizenship. Fine. But if anyone comes from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh, especially Muslims, if they come from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh, then they won't be given citizenship. Why? When asked, one of the major problem is they say how will Muslims be killed within a Muslim dominated country? Why will Muslim feel religiously persecuted, culturally persecuted in Muslim dominant country itself? So it will be minorities who has to be careful about. So here comes the actual problem. That is, many people feel if a refugee comes, irrespective of the religion, you should try to give them citizenship. Why are you differentiating different religious communities in this? For this, the government's argument is we have already segregated, and if we start allowing Muslims from these countries to come, then we need to allow everyone. So there were certain protests, there were certain issues about this, but government has started giving citizenship to people who are coming from other countries, but not now, 2014 before. And now from Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh, if there are Hindus, Sikhs, Parsis, Christians, Buddhists, and Jains, they all will be given citizenship, is what the government has told in the parliament. So not required as of now. Don't worry. I just wanted to give you the explanation part of it. Yeah. Yes, in mains, there can be a question significantly about what measures can be taken to reduce the backlogs that are there in the court. So recently, D.Y. Chandrachud stated that, just by increasing the number of judges, we cannot reduce the pendency of the cases. Similarly, Sushil Kumar Modi, who is in the parliamentary committee, told that we should think out of the box solutions to resolve these type of problems. So if we try to see what are these out of the box solutions, guys, I just want you to write a separate heading on this and collect information over a period of time, because definitely there can be a question on how to reduce court backlogs. Fine. So try to make a note. Below that, you write, you see, first, what they try to say is it is very difficult to find judges today who are much better, and at the same time, many people are retiring. So we should use the same judges, same retired judges, for multiple purposes. Like this, lot of cases which come to Supreme Court, if you look at, these are the things which come from lower courts. That is like, through appeal. So let us say High Court of Karnataka gave some judgment people did not like, so they will go to Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court existing judges, they have to read multiple cases, and then they have to tell whether we need to admit the case or to reject the case. Just to know whether they have to admit a case or reject a case. Judges are wasting the time. So the article says that why don't you use retired judges so that they will sit and read and tell whether this case must be taken up or not. So this is one of the best things that can be done, because you see, rather than giving judgment itself, if these people can sit at that top level with their experience, if they can tell, no, no, these are the cases which we can ignore, and these are the cases which we have to take up, and then when the actual judgment is given by the people who are in power, that would make more sense, right? So you write down the first point: the retired judges can be used can be used to identify the cases which the Supreme Court has to accept. And this would reduce significant burden. Next point, you see guys, now we have to strengthen online justice. During COVID, online systems worked. Rather than going for new infrastructures, if proper means are established, then you can have online system itself, because this would reduce the cost. So you can write, rather than having rather than having brick and mortar structures and staff, it is better to have online. It is better to have online, so that additional expenses can be reduced. Third point, see guys, what they say is mediation is very very important in India. Yes, we do, but still it is not done in a very systematic manner. In most of the cases we can go for mediation, which would reduce the time of the courts and reduce the way the issues are being handled, because without mediation, uh, most of the cases will keep on stretching. So if mediation is there, especially by the trusted people, then the litigation can be reduced drastically, is what it says. So you write, mediation has to be employed. Mediation has to be employed to ensure that the number of cases are drastically reduced. Is questionable refusal. In Bilkis case, Supreme Court should have reviewed order on Gujarat, deciding on remission. See guys, another important issue which is going on in news and from prelims point of view, which can be important is the pardoning powers of the president and the governor. Because in many cases, like the pardoning powers have been recalled again and again. So that can be a significant question, guys. And in GST Council, which they met after long time, they all have decided that GST Council and the officials should not try to trouble the taxpayers until and unless the litigation is more than 2 crores. If it is less than 2 crores and if there is any issue, that should be not seen from criminal point of view until and unless some fake documents are being shown. Else we have to reduce it to less than 2 crores so that the litigants will not feel scared. That's what it wants to do, moving away from criminal procedures. Good governance beyond motherhood and apple pie. See guys, for public administration, it is very important for you to have about this good governance. Now, when we are talking about the good governance, the first most important thing that we need to see here is like Churchill and others have noted that it is very, very important to ensure that good governance is implemented so that the policies reach to the poorest of the poor. Now, when it comes to India, there are certain aspects which are in trouble. This article talks about Karnataka, which is one of the fastest growing states in India, where there is very good GSDP, enterprises, taxpayers, everyone is there. Unfortunately, there are so many cases and laws for the employers. For example, if I need to go and establish a company in Karnataka, then I have to sign lot of contracts where even a minute thing can put me behind the bars. So if we have such huge legal procedures, what is going to happen? The genuine industry can also think, should we come and invest in this place, mainly because of so many legal procedures that actually exist. Correct. Second most important thing is good administrators are also scrutinized frequently. And the main reason for that is let's say I purchased laptop from one company, but another company told that I would have given it at a special discount. Then the government will tell, okay, there was a discount coming from this company. Why did you purchase from here? So that is corruption. So that those type of things also make people to think whether we need to work or we should take decisions or leave it completely to the government. So day-to-day activities have also been compromised because of punishment to the honest officials. Enterprise DigiLocker compliance portal. See guys, uh, the way we have used DigiLocker, if we can bring it with respect to companies as well, and if companies also keep all these within the DigiLocker, we can download whenever we want about the official documents and all, and this could reduce the burden on the company and also smoothen the administrative function. Like Karnataka already have certain things like Kutumba, family beneficiary databases, fruits, farmer registration and unified beneficiary information, Swamitwa, drone based property and land mapping, right? These things. So at last they try to say that artificial intelligence must also be used. Not so important, don't worry. Yes, India has almost indigenously built. INS Marmogova, commissioned into Indian Navy. See, 75% of this is with Indian technology, so we can say that it is indigenous itself. And the best part of this is this can also carry BrahMos supersonic cruise missile, and it can also carry long range surface to air missile. Now, what is this? If any aircraft or something is coming, this can hit them and destroy them. So this will be present in the waters, and ensure that any missiles, if they are targeted towards India, it will try to destroy them. So the name is important, guys. You write down INS Marmogova, INS Marmogova, missile destroyers, missile destroyer hyphen 75% indigenous content, comma 163-meter long warship, it can equip BrahMos and long range surface to air missiles. Net direct tax revenue up 20%, gross MOP rises 26%. Because actually the tax collections has increased. All this data we will get in economic survey, guys. No need to worry about them now. Northeast is not last part of the country but gateway for trade and ties. You can actually write a question on this, answer on this, on these type of topics. Because if you look at this, right? So India is investing around 7 lakh crores in Northeast India to ensure that roadways, railways and other things are improved. So now also government has gone there to invest in the region. See, because earlier we had an issue of insurgency in Northeast. Now the insurgency has almost reduced because there is no support for insurgents either from Bangladesh or from Myanmar. So when there is no threat of insurgency, it is easy for us to construct road and railway lines, right? So that is what is happening in this particular area. Shinde government has not acted aggressively. Bharat Jodo Yatra, inclusion of communities on ST list still on the back burner. Because there are many communities which always demands for what we call as ST community, and central government keeps on proposing these names, right? I just want you people to make a note of these: Kanda, Kumbar, Jodia, Chuktiya, Bunjia, Sara, Mankidia, Porja communities in Odisha, Pulayan community, Konda Kumari community. Very important, guys. India pushes for new biodiversity fund. See, guys, for climate change, we have fund, and for most of the other things, there is a fund already, guys. So you have global biodiversity framework, right? When we are talking about almost all the environmental things, there is something called as global environment facility, right? This is a bank account like thing which is opened with World Bank, and whatever money is contributed, that will be kept in global environment facility, and that money will be actually shared with all the member countries to conserve the forest and all. Now, for climate change, enough money is coming because we are having discussions and developed countries have to pay on the basis of common but differentiated responsibilities. Because what is the meaning? It is everyone's responsibility to reduce climate change. There is no doubt about it. But developed countries who have more money, they should contribute more. Developing countries which has less money should contribute less. Least developed countries should contribute least. So the meaning of this is based on your income level, we need to decide whether you should contribute how much money. So that is called differentiated responsibility. Everyone should contribute, but the contribution must be on the basis of your capacity. So that is the core of climate change. Now India is asking that we need biodiversity fund because in our countries we have huge biodiversity reserves and we need to protect them. We need an extra money and that money we are not able to pump in. So let us go for CBDR. You try to help us so that we will use the money for conservation purposes. So at Montreal, India has proposed about establishing a new biodiversity fund. Right, this is important, guys. You can write COP 15 biodiversity fund. This is another important case, guys. This Nepal has constructed, like, one of the largest dams in the northern part, right? And that is Upper Tamakoshi plant. Like, Kosi River, you have almost seven branches. Among them, on one, they have constructed the dam, and that they have gone for global bidding. In this bidding, China, Austria, India, many companies have come and they have worked. Now, the point is, India is telling if at all any Chinese company is involved, we are not going to purchase electricity from you. But Nepal has thought that India would purchase, Bangladesh would purchase, right? Extra electricity that they are generating, if they start exporting to India and Bangladesh, then they will earn significant money. Bhutan actually earns more money through construction of these dams, and India purchases electricity from them. So Nepal is now telling that I can't change the rules of the international game because the bidding was done at the international level. I understand India's concern, but we are helpless. And then they're saying that at least allow us to transfer energy to Bangladesh through India. So, will India allow it or not is what we need to check. So, guys, in Indo Nepal relations, you can write Nepal is constructing, Nepal is constructing its largest hydroelectric project in Upper Tamakoshi region. In Upper Tamakoshi region. Full stop. Nepal expected Nepal expected that India and Bangladesh, and to some extent Sri Lanka, can purchase additional electricity. But but in the project, in the project, some of the contractors are from China, and India has opposed to purchase because Chinese are involved. Yeah. So guys, these are the important issues, right? So we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you guys.